brought you here. This place is iconic. This place is iconic because it represents something about our story. You know, Pittsburgh was at one point a global powerhouse because we produced steel. And our economy and our society and our communities were based on this driver of our city. And it made us influential in the world. But one day, the steel mills stopped producing and the industry ground to a halt. And here we are today in a place that for decades was 24 hours a day, unending, producing something valuable to the world, but today is a pile of ruins. And we brought you here today because I believe that there's a story that this place represents that is also true about the state of our world and the state of our hearts. See, I think that every single one of us, you know, we can look around and we can see that, okay, this place was designed for a certain function. This place was designed to do something valuable, but yet it's not accomplishing the purpose for which it was designed. And I think we feel that way even when we look across our world. There's this sense that things aren't functioning the way that they were meant to function. Things are a bit dysfunctional. We have this sense that this isn't the way that it ought to be, but we don't really know how to get to where it should be. And so it's a struggle to figure out, how do we handle the ruins that we face in our lives? But it's not just about our world and humanity as a whole, but it's about our hearts too. Because I think we all have this sense that we were designed for something great. But we deal with this tension and this struggle because there's so many times where we feel like we're not living up to what we were designed to live up to. We're not functioning the way we were meant to function. Our relationships, they're not working out, but we feel like they should, but we don't know why. Our finances aren't working out, but we're not sure how to fix it. We're not sure how to make things right in our hearts. We're not sure how to make things right in our world. And so we strive and we try. But we are surrounded by a world where there are ruins. And we're surrounded by hearts that have this sense of, it's not what it ought to be. But the story does not end in the ruins. And the story does not end in the dysfunction. And see, there is a story that our world is dying to hear because they're faced with the dysfunction but have no real solutions. But there is a story of a God who so loved us even in the ruin. There is a story of a God who saw the ruins in our lives and saw the ruins in humanity and saw the ruins that surround our planet today, and he was moved with love. And he should have been moved with judgment. He should have been moved with condemnation. He should have been moved with, you made it this way, now live with the ruin that you've created. But he was moved with love. And so he traveled the furthest distance that you could imagine. And he didn't come and send a sign in the sky saying, what the heck's your problem? Get it together, people. He came and got in the middle of the mess and bent down and got into the ruins. But he didn't just come to identify with our ruins. He came to let the ruin in our world crush him. And he became a victim of the ruin. He became a victim of the dysfunction. He became a victim of the malfunctioning that we face in this world. And if the story ends at the cross, what we see is that this man who didn't deserve it came to the world. He was good. He was God. He was perfect. He came into the world, and the dysfunction and the ruin of the world crushed him and ended the story. But the story does not end at the cross. Yeah, he paid the price. He took the ruin. He became a victim of our ruin in our world and in our hearts. But then he proved to us that his grace was always more powerful than the ruin, that his love was always greater than the dysfunction, that there was no dysfunction, no issue, no problem that could silence his name is Jesus, and Jesus is the only one who can take what is ruined and turn it into victory. And so we serve a God who can take the ruin in our hearts and turn it into victory.